Hi, welcome to She Spice. Hollywood is brimming with mysteries, from aced outrages to wild gatherings for the world class. It seems like each occasion in the business has some secret plan, or possibly that is what Jim Carrey accepts. Recently, Jim's been vocal about the mysterious stuff happening in Hollywood, starting from the start, yet his straightforwardness hasn't come without a cost. He's confronted serious kickbacks and even discipline from the business, like being dropped. So drop culture isn't dialing back in Hollywood, and it seems as though Jim Carrey may be the following objective to make things much more fascinating. Other renowned figures like Feline Williams and Tommy Davidson have supposedly approached him to make sense of why the vehicle's in major trouble, so he endeavors to simply remain on what got him there, right? You know information on his family where he grew up, right? You know simply only that stuff that counts. Yet for what reason is all Carrey being rebuffed? How has he gone through this? Jim Carrey has truly taken a risk to uncover the mysterious side of the business. He's gambled with everything to drop hints about what's truly happening, like how the Illuminati probably pulls the strings in our lives and scripts everything we might do. Devotees of Carrey swear that after he made some noise, they fundamentally forced him into resigning and vanishing. We should confront it. Jim Vehicle's forever been an entrancing buddy. With his reasonable part of capricious minutes in his profession, he won't hesitate to discuss the business and this entire Illuminati business, which makes you keep thinking about whether he's attempting to sign us in on what's truly going down in the background. The insight about Jim's retreat from the spotlight since his Hollywood exit has started stressing his buddies. This person used to be the existence of the party, yet presently he's evidently aged up in self-segregation, seeming to be a phantom of his previous self. Since he changed gears to zero in on craftsmanship back in 2022, you should say you were significant, and you should say it's all going to be good, and you should say, that you realize anything you dream during a new interesting locating at his 62nd birthday festivity. Recently, Carrey was noticed looking rumpled and barely unmistakable. This has provoked companions to step in and expand their help, particularly thinking about his supposed battles with bomb connections throughout the long term, which are accepted to have negatively affected him. The star of Stupid and more idiotic, eminent for his lively energy and comedic ability, is purportedly causing worry among his dear companions due to his undeniably antisocial way of life, prompting stress over his prosperity. In all actuality, I am in favor of that sort of stuff. Yet I don't completely accept that any of it makes a difference. You know, making a difference is important to me. On his 62nd birthday, Jim Carrey showed up looking rumpled and barely conspicuous, provoking his companions to accumulate around him to offer help. As per a source referred to by the Public Inquirer through Radar Online, the jokester has been investing energy in Hawaii and is stowing away, showing next to no intrigue in anything Hollywood brings to the table. The insider communicated concern, expressing a major concern for the numerous people who care about Jim, who's had a few genuinely unpleasant minutes these past couple of years. The source added that Carrey watches out for holes and pulls out, noticing the vehicle's appearance. The insider commented that the previous entertainer appears to have been destroyed both genuinely and intellectually. The worries about Jim's prosperity originate from his choice to pull back from his Hollywood vocation as an entertainer, comic, and spotlight on chasing after craftsmanship in Walk 2022. The expert Ventura star uncovered to Access Hollywood that he was presumably resigning from acting. Carrey made sense of, well, I'm resigning, better believe it most likely I'm genuinely difficult. It depends on the off chance that the Holy Messengers bring some kind of content that is written in gold ink that shares with me, that it will be truly significant so that individuals could see I could go on in the distance. However, I'm taking a break, he further communicated. I feel like, and this is the sort of thing you may very well never hear another big name say insofar as time exists. I have sufficient enough. I've done what's needed. I am sufficient. This change in center towards individual satisfaction through creative undertakings appears to have provoked worry among his companions about his prosperity and way of life, and Tommy Davidson has likewise discussed Jim as of late. Tommy Davidson, that's the notable American comic who's been around for a long time as of late, showed up as a visitor on Mike Tyson's web recording Hot Confining with Mike Tyson. In an episode, Davidson joined Tyson and co-have DJ, who was a youngster, to talk about a lot of subjects. Tyson shared some wild boxing stories, while Davidson let the cat out of the bag on his encounters with individual humorists during their visit. Davidson even uncovered who he believes is the most insane jokester in the game. There were moments when both Tyson and Davidson became inquisitive about one another's callings. Davidson utilized this episode as an opportunity to get to know Tyson better by getting some information about his perspectives on numerous exemplary fighters during the webcast. DJ Charm Kid asked Davidson whom he believed was the most insane humorist in business. Kid anticipated that it very well may be Jamie Foxx. Davidson contemplated the inquiry briefly before, at long last, uncovering the name of the humorist he had as a main priority. He said, "Glory, I couldn't say whether there was an insane one. I think the insane one was Jim." By then, Tyson bounced in and shared his considerations for Carrey, saying he's wonderful. Davidson proceeded to make sense of how Jim Carrey can really show you how far you can take one joke in view of how many individuals would not work close by him in draws. Davidson then, at that point, expounded on the vehicle's novel work cycle and way to deal with satire. Davidson rose up to discover some space before the lounge chair where he could institute vehicle style. He moved close to Mike Tyson and showcased the whole scene, describing all that occurred on the recording set while utilizing his body to represent Davidson. He said he should fall to the ground briefly and get up, and I should hit him with stitches. You realize right, so I'd say the line is right. Thus, he falls right back and he's on the ground. Davidson then, at that point, began shaking on the ground, mirroring the vehicle's showy nonverbal communication that he frequently uses to make humor. He made sense of how Carrey continued to rehash this demonstration somewhere around 5 or 6 times, and nobody could quit chuckling. This isn't the main time he talked about Jim. As of late, on Club Shay's digital broadcast, he discussed why he is moving back from the business. Tommy shared his point of view on Jim's vehicle's non-appearance in the public eye. As per Tommy, Jim had made extraordinary progress with films like Pro Ventura, Pete Criminal Investigator, The Veil, and The Truman Show, yet as of late he had zeroed in on self-awareness and improving as an individual. Jim, a dear companion of Tommy's, perceived the significance of internal turns of events and non-materialistic achievements. For example, being a caring child and a decent individual. Tommy then, at that point, reviewed recollections of his own childhood and how his mom's lessons about giving and appreciation had molded how he might interpret achievement. You realize my mom was the sort of lady that would like you to realize we were on government assistance right now, and you realize we are coming up the steps with gross Jim Vehicle's excursion in media outlets has for sure been set apart by both achievement and individual difficulties. Regardless of his notoriety and a case for comedic jobs in films like Liar Bruce, all-powerful. The Veil, How the Grinch Took Christmas, Moronic and Stupider, and The Link Fellow have confronted hardships all through their profession. We typically don't get drifters, yet I will go with my nature on this one sat-up accomplice. Carrey has displayed his flexibility by additionally taking on serious jobs, getting acclaim for his presentations in films like Everlasting Daylight of the Immaculate Psyche, where he was featured close by Kate Winslet from the get-go in his vocation. Carrey confronted the difficulties of the business while working under the direction of well-known humorist Rodney Dangerfield, who assumed an urgent role in assisting him with investigating the universe of parody and understanding his potential. His move to superfame during the 1990 Us was remembered for his striking work on the television program In Living Variety. I shared with him that you have the ideal persona, the ideal comedic persona. I mean, you realize I'm modest, and yet the no regard thing gets the center. When Jim Carrey set out on his excursion into media outlets, he immediately understood the considerable difficulties that lay ahead, as chronicled by the New York Times. The entertainer and jokester confronted and extended, what's more, strenuous battle to rise to fame over almost 10 years. He devoted himself to performing comedic acts any place he could, endeavoring to be perceived and treated in a serious way in the industry through authentic reflections. Carrey shared for quite a while. I used to drive up to the mall, drive consistently, take a gander at the city, and sit and envision myself with this cash and being pursued in spite of a longing for material abundance. His essential yearning was greatness in his art. Reviewing a critical second, at 15 years old, when his dad got him a gig at a Toronto parody club. Carrey recognized confronting starting disappointment and getting booed off the stage in a polyester suit that conflicted with the group's inclinations. Unfazed, he made a rebound 2 years after the fact with a more credible execution, leaving the suit for a chaotic and interesting methodology. At 19 years old, Carrey moved his concentration to Los Angeles, eagerly leveling up his abilities until getting the consideration of industry heavyweights, for example, Sam Kinison and Rodney Dangerfield, at last tying down sought-after TV jobs. Jim's excursion to progress was set apart by impressive difficulties and subscribe She Spice for more videos.